her flipped out because I pick up our granddaughter, her daughter, and I text her right away. I couldn't text her today, so she called my wife, or texted my wife, and they were both going back and forth. They couldn't understand. I said, you guys are on Wi-Fi. That's why the texts are going through.
On this?
Yeah.
Yes. Can't make calls.
Putting on speakerphone.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Good evening, everybody. We'll call the meeting to order, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands,
Excepciones, manuals, anti-communist.
All right. Hey, Carrie, I think your mic is on or something.
Yeah.
Okay. So Carrie is.
Everybody, we'll call the meeting to order, and we will.
You can't watch it, unfortunately. You can't watch it and, because we get an echo effect.
And it's like a 7-second delay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I just muted it.
Okay.
All right. So Councilwoman Foy is unable to attend medically, so she is tuning in remotely, and we just need to approve that. So is there a motion from council to approve Councilmember Foy?
To be via telemobile.
Is there
I'll
a
second it.
All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Unanimous. Presentations. We have David Hill with Oreo, which is the Orlando Reefs Education Organization.
Hi, I'm David Hill, and currently the Vice President of Oreo, the Orlando Reef Educators Organization. We've had the privilege of helping you restore your beach over the past 10 years. And in Florida, like many places, we have many invasive and nuisance plants. I was first introduced to your need by Paula from Brevard Natural Resources. She told me that a resident, Linda Postma, was removing the invasive species and she could use some help. I presented this need to our organization and everyone was aboard with helping and replacing the invasives with coyotes. 10 years ago, we planted for the first time. My wife and the wife of our current president planted coyotes by Access 6. There is now a large dune there that you already know about. And so this restoration project is working. My wife passed away a month later, so that dune is part of her legacy. Several years ago, for the first time in a long time, you had a loggerhead turtle lay her eggs in that dune. Actually, it's been 6 years ago. Over the years, we have planted over 15,000 coyotes, some of which were killed by spring breakers. We have focused on planting where invasive and nuisance species were removed by Linda and most recently Joe and his crews. It has been a pleasure working with your people and I look forward to helping you all in the future. I do have a couple of requests for you. Is it possible for the residents to take some pride in their town and come out and help us and plant the coyotes or help remove the unwanted plants? We always do this with all the applicable permits and permissions. A few people have come by and thanked us for our work, which is very appreciated. But I normally bring about 50 to 100 volunteers from the Orlando area to get this work done. It would be nice if some residents would join us, including yourself. The next request is probably the hardest one, and I may be wrong on that one. Is there any way that the residents can be told that we, and I include Joe in this, are only operating within the guidelines set forth by the government agencies involved? Last year, a concerned resident was very hostile to us and we were helping her town out. It appeared to me that she is a resident with a great big heart for her town and doing things correctly, but she didn't have correct information. So she was going to report us to the exact agencies that had told us to remove the species. As I understand it, everything worked out, but it would be nice if the residents would be given the knowledge to make informed statements or maybe make a decision to come out and help their community. It has been, now if that's already been done, I'm sorry, you have to deal with it. And thank you for your time and for the opportunity to help protect your beach and your property, and for all those people behind me, you're welcome to come out and help us. We'll be here February 14th.
Thank you. Yeah, I think February 14th, I'll try to remember that. And Joe, maybe remind me. Put something on social media, get it out.
Yeah. We try to put it on too. I always put it like on our Friday report before then, but we can put it on our website and look for volunteers and also go with our sustainability board too.
Yeah. I just wanted, it's been 10 years, and I just wanted to
Yeah.
have a chance to speak, so I asked Joe if I can come, and if you don't mind, I have a 2-hour drive back.
Thank you,
All
Mr.
right,
Hill.
thank you.
Thank you guys very much for your work you do.
Thank- All right. Public comments for non-agenda items. Persons wishing to address the town council on a matter not listed on the agenda may speak at this time. Speakers must provide their name and address, observe a 3-minute time limit, and speak only after being recognized by the mayor. Carly.
Hi, I'm Carly Sinagoy, and I live at 113 Franklin Ave in Indialantic. And I really just came to introduce myself to everyone, faced with the email that you guys got earlier. I own Casa Bonita Riverside on 105 down here, and I have been breaking the noise ordinance. I hope that we can get to a place where it makes more sense. 6 p.m. is a little early, and I really need to have guitars and live music there in order to make it a nice atmosphere and for a reason for the neighborhood on their bikes, golf carts, walking, to come up there with their families and enjoy the atmosphere there. And it's like killing me that I can't do it. I've already lost a lot of money this month. Didn't take a paycheck this week. So it's just, I'm not asking for a lot, but hopefully we can get to a place where everyone's happy. Again, there's no residents next to me. So anyways, I just wanted to come and introduce myself. It's all in the email, so. And I'll be seeing you at the hearing on the 28th. So don't beat me up too bad.
Thank you.
Okay.
And just for council's knowledge, I had a meeting with Matt, Chief, and Mike Casey, and Brett Miller to discuss the amplified noise ordinance, the existing and how it could be changed, not necessarily specific to this, but in general, so.
Check.
All right, any other public comments for non-agenda items? All right. Public announcements, there are openings on the following boards and committees: Budget and Finance, Civil Service, Code Enforcement, Heritage Committee and Parks, Recreation and Beautification Committee. Indialantic Town Hall, we close on Friday, January 16th, 2026, and Monday, January 19th, in observance of Martin Luther King Day. All right, consent agenda. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second? Second.
I'll second.
All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
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 All right. Carries unanimously. Ordinance and public hearings. We have ordinance 2026-02, first reading, public hearing relating to ribbon curb requirements for paved driveways. Is this thing on? An ordinance of the town of Indialantic, Brevard County, Florida, adding section 113-233-1, the Indialantic zoning code relating to ribbon curb requirements for paved driveways, providing for implementation, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date. Mike or Joe, you want to talk about it?
Joe? This is a Joe thing.
Yes, the purpose for the ribbon curb is for when we do some milling and paving of the streets, that they don't damage their pavers, and in doing so, it could, if the pavers are obsolete, then they get damaged. Now we have to buy all the pavers all over again. So this is to help avoid that situation from ever becoming a problem.
All right. Just for everyone's knowledge, a ribbon curb driveway comes down with pavers and they pour a 12-inch.
6-inch wide, 12 inches deep.
Right. Ribbon of concrete, and that is the separator between the road pavement and the pavers. And so Joe and his team can grind the road and not the pavers. So, any comments from council?
I'll just I concur. I think it's a good way to find a good middle ground. We've had it in the past where driveways have been affected, and we've had to bear the cost, the town that is. There's one on my street that had recently replaced, and they do have the ribbon curbing in. So obviously that just prevents further expenses due to the town and protects the residents as well. So I think it's good.
John?
Nothing.
Julie?
Read through it, it looks good to me.
Carrie?
I like it.
All right, me too. Public comment? All right, that was easy. All those in favor of approving ordinance 2026? Oh, yeah, that was just discussion. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-02.
I'll second.
All right, Carrie got the second. All those in favor of approving ordinance 2026-02, say aye.
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 All opposed? That is unanimous. Ordinance 2026-06, first reading, public hearing relating to the establishment of a special magistrate for code enforcement purposes. An ordinance of the town of Indialantic, Brevard County, Florida, amending section 2-5 to the Indialantic Code of Ordinances relating to the establishment of a special magistrate for code enforcement purposes pursuant to Chapter 162 Florida statutes and amending those portions of the Code of Ordinances referencing a code enforcement board, providing for implementation, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date. So I think we see a lot of regulars here, but anybody that doesn't know, the magistrate would replace the code enforcement board, and the independent attorney, they're an independent attorney, correct? And somebody from the town would present the code enforcement violation, and they would make the judgment versus the code enforcement board. So is that basically right?
Yeah.
All right.
You would just basically have like a judge and a prosecuting attorney, and they can bring their own defense attorney, whoever the person for the code.
Violation, yeah.
And it's a much more common format for most municipalities, as opposed to a full code enforcement board.
Okay. Is there a motion?
They have some comments.
Well, we do, typically, actually, we do the motion first, and then we discuss, and that's our normal case. I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-06, code enforcement special magistrate.
I'll second it.
Doug, any comments?
I think overall, I think it's a move in the right direction. It deconflicts the residents from having to potentially prosecute our own. It provides for a more expedient resolution, if you will, or at least a hearing in terms of the residents and neighbors being affected. And it ensures that we have the magistrate in question here would be somebody who is board certified and has the appropriate credentials to administer that position impartially, so and interpret the code appropriately. So, and it would not incur additional fees to the town as opposed to how we're operating currently. So, and it's also being used as indicated at various municipalities locally, well, with great success. Additionally, more broadly, it's also being implemented. So I believe it's good. And of course, if we decide in the future that it's not something that we like, we can always change back. So this is not something that's a one-way street.
Good point. John?
Yeah, I agree with what Doug said. I sat on the code enforcement board for a couple of years, so doing it this way is a little more objective, I think. So I'm in favor.
Julie?
Yeah, I like the idea. I would hope that this would progress things faster. That's what, what I'm following. So I'm trying to find, because I thought I had read, are you going to be appointed the magistrate?
No, it would be an attorney outside.
Okay, because that's what I was like, well, it said our town attorney somewhere, and I can't find it in the language that you could be the same. And I was like, well, aren't you the same? So.
But you could be the prosecuting attorney.
Yes.
Okay. But no, I think it's a good, when would this go into effect?
Well, this would be the first reading, so after the second reading.
Okay.
So March.
We have to go out to bid, don't we, for a magistrate?
Oh.
Yeah, so we would have to do an RFP for a magistrate, go through that process to hire them.
Carrie?
I fully support this, and I am thrilled that we can move forward with this.
All right. Public comment. I bet you I know who.
Just a question. Do we know who it is?
Name and address.
Oh, Kitty Lowe, 411 3rd Ave. Do we already have somebody picked out for this?
Like Molly was just saying, it would have to go out to
Okay,
bid
that's what I
because
thought.
people are in the business of doing this.
Okay.
Right, so you put out a bid and people apply and then we pick based on, flip of a coin, whatever.
Okay, and then.
Best value is
Is
what
that
I'm
only
told.
one person?
One person.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Any other public comment? All right, all those in favor of approving ordinance 2026-06, say aye. Aye. All opposed? And that also carries unanimously. Unfinished business, we have the kayak launch that originally was going to go at the pier, but the pier is in horrible shape and unsafe, so it's going to go to Douglas Park, pending approval, obviously. So, and then the rental kiosks for the kayaks, they will be installed shortly thereafter,
Yeah.
right?
Or maybe before.
Okay.
Give me an update. I can talk about it and give you all an
Yeah.
update. So basically, if you go to the second page after the thing, there's a design for the kayak where it's going to be placed at. It's kind of right between the benches there, just where the Mikey Goodwin bench is, just to the west of that, and it goes out further. The mayor had seen it previously. We moved some things around. So that would put it there for the launch going out. I was hoping to have the number an estimated number today. I haven't got that yet, but I want permission to be able, once we get the number in, unless it's something exorbitant different than what I'm thinking, is to be able to go out to a bid process to get this process done. There's a chance it might be a proprietary issue if we go with that. It's like Gator Docks or something, so I'm not sure will that carry in or not. But that's where we're at with it right now. So unless something changes drastically and, I can come back to you all if you would like to go out the bid for this and that's okay with the location and everything. And if it went out the bid, it would come back to you all too, for approval or not approval, so it's not like a done deal. Any questions?
As with anything constructed in our area, I always like to make sure to ask, because it doesn't always happen. The materials, are they resilient? Do they hold up? Like, it's not something that's going to be in need of repair shortly, like using the best non-rustable, deteriorating.
Yeah, these are aluminum, so they won't rust.
Oxidized, but they don't work.
I know, but they're designed that's what they're designed for and everything. They're around the area. They have them up in Daytona Beach, the same company. Like the Gator Dock ones I looked at, they are around in other communities and in Florida and stuff. So, and it's a floating dock. It's not like when it's the pier, it's actually floating.
The entire thing is floating, right?
Yeah, so when the tide goes up, it goes up. The tide goes down, it goes down.
So
it's
there's no pilings at all from the seawall. It's all
I think there's a
floating.
couple pilings for tying in.
Okay.
Is it something that would need to be closed during certain weather events?
I mean, we want me to close it down like during a hurricane and stuff like that, but we'd need some signs up there. I think the attorney would probably, at your own risk type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the beach, we don't stop people from going to the ocean, but we close it down, we just put a sign up, hey, if you're stupid enough to go in here, we're not responsible.
Gotcha.
Doug, any comment?
I've got a number. I understand this is just a discussion and a concept, so I'll keep that in mind. It does look like there's pilings, at least on the side elevation drawing, and that portion of the dock, at least in this concept, is fixed, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. I actually think that's safer in some regards. And then it transitions to a floating dock after the gangway. However, with a floating dock, and we do have weather, I would ask that we consider how we secure that investment if we were to pursue that in the event of a tropical weather activity. Obviously, if it's affixed, to pilings, those are robust, they're fine, right? And docks are docks, right? You just gotta go with it. And we have insurance. The top elevation, again, it's a concept, but it looks like it's about 64 feet by another, 30, 40 feet of dock, which is a lot of dock. And having looked at docks for not my personal expense, but otherwise, that may be cost prohibitive, just, we'll see what the numbers say. And then my other comment here would be what I don't see is where the kiosk goes in Douglas Park, which is just more of a matter of procedural, because we've made a decision to move forward with it, which is fine. I just was curious more than anything else. But how does this fit with the Riverside, the pier at Sunset Park? Anyways, I know we were pursuing grants and other external sources for funding, with the state potentially, or with a grant through the St. John's or other recreational activities. Last year, we were not successful. We got struck down by a line item veto, I believe. So I'm just curious how this would fit with the pier, rehabilitating the pier while also bringing this new project online. Obviously, we got to go get a cost. So I'm fine with moving forward with going and getting costs and having that discussion at the end of the day. That's where just.
Right. So it's different in the pier funding and stuff like that, because we didn't put this kayak into the pier funding. That basically was the number that we were going to have. The difference is, I guess, we're adding a little bit addition for that pier, that 60 feet of pier and stuff. The original estimates I had was around $45,000 to $50,000. So unless something's changed drastically, that's what I don't know.
Yeah. So because we have money set aside for the pier, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not sufficient to rehabilitate it to the level we want as it's currently constructed, because it's a big project.
Correct.
So we need matching. We would use that money as matching. And so going forward, what I'd like to see when we come back to this is, when we get some more information, is would this be a new line item of funding, or would we be decrementing the budget for the pier that we have set aside?
Yeah, there's funding in there, and we have some money we can move to that if we needed to extra.
And again, I just circle back to the other one in terms of if we put it in, we can decide monetarily that we can make it work and it fits within the broader spectrum. Awesome. It would just be, how do we secure the what are the risks, or what are the processes and procedures for managing the floating portion of it during a tropical weather event, because it's going to happen.
I can speak to Mike Kalasia, who's...
Yeah, I'm sure they have information on how to do that.
And the kayak launch is actually going on the other side, the west side, or the north side of that sidewalk across there, so you'd walk across.
With the kiosk, you mean, yeah?
Yeah, I believe that's where we looked at.
Okay. And then, and then a consideration for any of the garden features that are already there, and so on and so forth. That's my initial set of questions. I can follow up with any more specifics in the off council meetings directly.
John?
All right.
Julie?
No. If I want to clarify what I think you're getting at, Doug, is making sure if we're not taking funding away from restoring the pier to create a new project. Is that what you're kind of getting at?
Yeah, essentially, right. We have money set aside. It's not enough. I forget how much, it's $300,000 or $400,000 for the pier. The pier, at least one bid for one version of the rehabilitation is double that. Depends on the material you use, obviously, so there's variations like anything. But if we decremented that, that would potentially put us further away from being able to rehabilitate the pier, and I know that's something we want to make a priority. So if we have additional funds that we could do this, that they could also go to the pier, but so I just want to make sure when we look at the timeline of things that we're not pushing the pier off. Obviously, we're getting the kayak kiosks, or at least we have a vote on that, I should say. Right. So anyway, so that's kind of where I'm just trying to balance and understand.
And I think that's a fair point that we can get to, because why would we not repair something we already have and start a new project? So I think that's a fair.
Yeah, but we got to get the data on what it costs, and that's fine.
But if we can have both, it's great.
Carrie?
Carrie is temporarily lost. I'm trying to get her back now. The call keeps dropping, so I'm gonna try my phone.
Okay. Public comment? Nothing. All right. So, Mike, what do you want a motion for what?
Why don't we just hold off on a motion now, and I'll come back next month with a number.
Okay.
I think, yeah, that's fine. I'm good with it. Just more data.
It's not going to delay it down as much,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we have to finalize and approve anything, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Let me find this here. So we have the town logo. For people that don't have the agenda in front of them, the long of the short is there was some social media chatter about a new logo. Somebody presented kind of an AI version of that, a little more updated, and then there was support for a new image in general. Another local resident offered up the services of a graphic designer at their expense, and they came up with some more versions or updated logo. So the question is, do we want to keep the logo? Do we want to pick one of the ones that's presented, or do we want to just get a whole new logo that's not presented here? As I said in the memo, I think small tweaks are probably included. If we want to make wholesale changes, that we'd have to talk to the resident who paid for the graphic designer about wholesale changes. So, Doug, you got any thoughts?
So I am open to the discussion on updating the logo, as we've recently updated the patch for the IPD to be more representative of where the town is today. What I would like to see in our discussion is, rather than jumping to the images, which thank you to the resident for bringing forth the idea. That's awesome that they invested in that, and that helps to get obviously your juices flowing. But and I don't have them memorized, or maybe they don't exist. But what what do we want? What are the things we want to in the logo to represent, or do we want to pay homage to anything that's in the existing logo? Those are all considerations and things that you could workshop through in iterations. So I'm open to the idea of moving it forward. I don't think we need to vote on, personally, I don't think we need to vote on an existing logo that they're represented. They're all relatively nice. None of them would offend me by any stretch of imagination. And I think it's a worthwhile endeavor to embark upon. If we think that's the town is interested in it, we can obviously receive feedback during council or outside of council. So.
Okay. Yeah, and just for the record, if we get a new logo, the cheap things such as digital files will be updated immediately. But like I use the example of the welcome mat, that wouldn't get updated until it needed replacement. Vehicle stickers wouldn't get replaced until they needed replacement. So there wouldn't be a whole lot of additional cost. So, John, you got anything?
No, I like the idea of updating that seagull screams 1972. So,
yeah, Julie.
I'm not against updating it. The ones provided, I think, lack like a personalization. They do have a little. I like the direction of it, but I don't think they're there yet. If I'm correct, wasn't it a Public Works
Director
that drew this years ago?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a bit of a nostalgic, so I just kind of I don't want to, say that we can't do it, but I think my thought was maybe if we had a local artist that could work with a graphic artist to kind of make it more, I don't know, to me it's a little cartoony. But I like the idea of it. I'm not against it. I think it needs, but maybe, I don't know, again, what content do we want it? We're abandoning the seagull, we're going with the pelican, So I just think I would like to see it a little more personalized, maybe, again, like an artist rendition instead of something that is clearly done just with clip art kind of looking.
Okay. Carrie? She's not here.
Maybe, can I clarify something real quick? Yeah, I think our code makes what the design of our logo is, but that individually was painted by the Public Works Director who used to do signs, so he didn't create the logo. It was already there, created in the ordinance.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought he was the one who came up with it.
The seagull flying back from Woodstock.
Angry seagull.
Sure. But no, so it would only be, if you do update it or you decide, it's not a charter thing, it's a code issue. We just have to create a new ordinance and changing it.
So how do you guys want to move forward? I don't know if we want to have a workshop. It seems like kind of a big deal for a little thing.
No, I'm just saying there's opportunities for feedback is my point. However we want to do that, that's fine. I don't disagree that it doesn't need to be.
Mark, what do you think about the the samples.
I mean, I liked some of them. I'm not, I don't disagree with everybody who said here. I'd be happy with any of them, but if we want to go somewhere else too, that's fine. So, but I think it does need to be updated. That's pretty old.
Auction it off. Chair for help raise funds for the pier.
Yeah. I'll give you the $10. All right. So, Mike, how do you want to move forward?
It's how y'all want to move. It's kind of one of those, do you want to move forward and work with somebody? Or you could give it to like the Heritage Committee or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually probably a good idea, at least to get started.
Ask them with some, ideas and things.
Yeah, I'll reach out to the resident too that paid for the graphic artist and
Okay.
see what they want to do.
Well, because I'm thinking like having like a rebranding, that's not exactly what we're doing. But if you think of it from that perspective, having been around that, you typically try to like collect ideas of what you're trying to project, right? Is it, these are the message you're trying to send, or the words what is associated with it, and then that helps construct it, and that would help the artist if you go outsource, if you go more personal and local, then it may become more organic. But it helps people express what they're visualizing, similar to how the vision board is with the boardwalk. But again, we don't need to go that formal, but I think going through the Heritage Committee, and if there's any artifacts or things that we have in our charter or anything like that we want to adhere to somehow, some way, I don't know. But the other alternative is what we've done before, is have Molly poke each of us to contribute whatever it is we have, if we want to contribute, and then that way we can be in compliance with Sunshine Law while still being able to not collaborate directly, but indirectly.
Yeah. I think the appropriate committee would be the Heritage Committee for this one.
Pam, you have any thoughts?
More color.
I'm done, 330 Tampa Avenue. I saw the 4 renderings, and my first impression was, I sort of, in my mind, like Indialantic, the turtle, and I just saw that little bitty turtle, crawling up the sand that you really, was kind of an afterthought. But I think the Heritage Committee, we would love to take that on. I'm speaking for them, so, yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, so we'll go from there. Item number 2, discuss reviewing and updating the town. Oh, public comment? All right.
Kitty Lowe, 411 3rd Avenue. Damian Scheer is a local artist. You probably heard of him.
Yep.
He's been around for a while. And I do love the idea of the turtles. I didn't want to even change that because I don't like that kind of change, whatever. But when I saw the pictures, it has the turtle, the ocean better. Yeah, I think the other renderings were very nice. And the colors are great.
It's funny that you mentioned Damien Scheer, because I, too, thought about reaching out to him.
Yeah.
He used to be a lifeguard here. His story is he was coming down from, New Jersey, and his car broke down on 95, and this became where he stayed.
Yeah, I have a couple
But he's a really
pieces in
great
my
artist
house.
and does a lot of beach
Yeah.
scenes. So I actually had thought about reaching out to him as well, so maybe, yeah.
Anyone else? All right, moving on. Discuss reviewing and updating the town's sign code to ensure constitutional compliance. Matt, was this yours or Mike's item?
I think it's just something that's kind of been discussed generally and kind of kicked around, nothing concrete right now.
It was in a list of our initiatives.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Matt, have you looked at our sign code at all?
I have not,
Okay.
no.
Mike, you have any input?
We talked beforehand, we had a meeting, me, Matt, and Molly, this afternoon before the council meeting. We had talked about it because it was on the agenda or brought up from council about, some goals and things.
Yeah.
We talked how, one thing, maybe like signboards, or sandwich boards, we don't allow those or something, and then just making sure we're updating our code and everything's current and legal, because there's some freedom of speech things that we have to be careful about and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's more just about updating it.
Okay. Also, I think election signs in town parks is a hot topic.
That was one of the,
That's what I heard anyway.
we mentioned that to him also.
Okay. Doug?
I'm all for continual improvement, so I don't have a problem with it, and obviously I participate in helping generate the list, so.
I agree.
Julie?
Sounds like a good initiative.
Is Carrie here?
I can't get Carrie on the phone. I have a comment when it's her turn for report.
Okay. She must be on Verizon. Maybe she's on Verizon.
The Ouija board?
All right.
So it's not us.
Matt, you have anything to report?
I do not.
Mike?
I do not, just remember, because we're closed this next weekend on Monday and stuff, and parking passes are available. We've been selling a lot of them.
All right. Doug?
Nothing, well, I should just say thank you to I was not able to participate, but thank you to those that did and who helped organize and champion the golf cart parade. So I know it was another big success, and, you know, encourage participation and such. So I do love the town's spirit, and obviously Happy New Year. Thank you.
John?
Yeah, I didn't make the Space Coast Legacy Cities meeting this past Monday at a scheduling conflict. But I did have a question, just to revisit. I don't know if this is the appropriate time or not, but the noise ordinance. I thought we had put this to bed.
The amplified noise is a separate ordinance.
Okay, so amplified noise.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
I wanted to, it seems like we have some people reaching out in the community. The Garden Club by the Sea this year is not hosting a pollinator fair. This year, we have a new initiative partnering with the National Garden Club. Our club won a grant to plant trees. So over the next course of many months, we'll be planting trees. There was one planted in Lily Park this past week, and we will have a dedication ceremony this Friday on Arbor Day, 10 a.m. It's the 16th. And we welcome the community to come out and watch us plant a tree. And we'll have more information as far as talking about other planting initiatives over the next coming months. So that's all I have.
Molly?
Carrie has no report.
All right. Meeting adjourned. Thanks for coming.